There's only one track left, so this selection indicator is bogus as ever. Yes, we'll ride the Matakana Coastal Trail from Omaha Beach up to Matakana, obviously, but that's pretty short, so we'll ride a whole lot more too, out towards Tawharanui. From Omaha Beach, we made the stupid decision to go up the road to the Matakana Farmers Market, which was quite nice. We then joined the coastal trail before riding on the tar seal on the Tawharanui Road, did some mountain biking at Tawharanui Regional Park, went back, rejoined the coastal trail back to where our car was parked outside the surf club. So I hope you can hear me in all this wind. I'm riding on Tongue Road between Matakana and Tawharanui Peninsula. We're doing the Matakana ride, but that only really goes between Matakana and Omaha where we started. So yeah, we've extended it by going out to the Tawharanui Peninsula, and we may or may not do some mountain biking out there when we get there. It's pretty windy, hard to know in advance how many of the tracks out there you can ride at the moment because it has been some bad weather, but do our best on that score. But this is the final ride in the Great Ride series. One reason for the extra chattiness today is that I thought I might try and sort of share some outcomes of the series, some reflections on what has happened while we've done this. So, first reflection. We've done the Great Rides. In all cases, we've done way more biking than the original Great Rides from a decade and a half ago. All of them were fairly small, such as this one. It was only really 6 kilometres of trail if you ignore the little bits out to Point Wells, and they were just basically on the road anyway. And you wouldn't drive out 60 k's to do a 6 kilometre bike ride, at least we wouldn't. So, you know, we've added to this one. But it's the fact that we've been able to add to all of them that I think is notable. Those planning for cycling, either commuting or recreation, cop a lot of criticism. But if you look at the way the Great Rides are now quite expandable, out from say 6 or 10 kilometres to 30 or 40 as we've done typically, sort of highlights that the whole cycling advocacy and cycling planning in Auckland has actually seen some quite significant successes. Whereas once you would do small point-to-point rides and then have to think about going the same way back to where you started. Now there's a lot more loops, and they're bigger loops. They've added to each of the great rides with other cycleways, or perhaps just expanding the initial ride to the point where there are some really good circuits that you can do. So yeah, I think some credit to the various planners that have been trying to expand the networks, and maybe they've been focused on the needs of commuters. It's not always the same as the needs of recreationalists, but yeah, I think they've actually ended up expanding the potential, the capacity for both, to the point that yeah, there are some really good rides now. We're off the Matakana cycle road now, and just going on the road out to the Tawharanui Peninsula. Tar seal for a while, turns gravel eventually. So point two, it's really an extension of what I said before. What you're seeing is that people are using these trails. We've passed an awful lot of people on the way in the last 3 months or so. We've been making this series, and there's a lot of families out there, so it's infrastructure that's being used. It's infrastructure that fits multiple purposes, not just commuting, but getting young families out and into healthy recreation at the weekends and that sort of thing. That we somewhat stumbled on the answer. Rather sadly, those strategies, those policies are pretty much at an end. Many of the new routes, many of the expanded routes that we've been doing were subsidised from national funding pools through Waka Kotahi, New Zealand Transport Agency. So both national government and regional government, local government, finding ways to cross-subsidise, say, roading developments by putting nearby cycle paths in. Without getting too political, the current centre-right government has endeavoured to get rid of most of those strategies and to rein in local and regional government expenditure in ways that mean their cross-subsidisation is just not going to happen anymore. So I think that's a great shame. Just when those sort of strategies were yielding some pretty good fruit, we're back to car-dominated policies. Part of the problem is that the good strategies take some time to bed in and yield results. So, if we get rid of them now, it's going to be 5-10 years from now when we actually work out the consequences of that. So that's a bit sad, given how things have actually changed positively since the Great Rides began. So we just come down the Omaha Heights hill, drop down to the little estuary around Tawharanui Lodge, and about to go up what I seem to be a gravel road. Was the last time I drove it, never actually ridden over this. But time for reflection number 3. So from what I've said already, I think the authorities trying to plan for cycling needs are doing a much better job than we give them credit for, but they are in a very restrained position, and they have to make each dollar go quite far, and that does lead to some compromises. Doing the great rides highlights the rise and rise of the shared pathway. Almost all of the bigger trails that we've done have been shared pathways, and it makes sense. You know, if you haven't got much money for cycle trails, walking trails, and not much infrastructure for dog walking, etc., as well as various other pursuits, try and put all those forms of transit or recreation onto the one set of networks. But yeah, maybe there's a few limitations to that, in that ultimately some of these shared pathways are probably no good for anyone. I wonder about the dogs that I've almost killed in this series, which may be evident on YouTube, maybe not. For every 14 kilometers of riding, I think we've been taking about 5 kilometers worth of video, and yeah, once I chop that up and throw out most of the crap, it's about 1 minute worth of video that you see on YouTube. So think back to all the uncontrolled dogs that I've whinged about in the previous 10 videos, but multiply that by 14 and you'll kind of see, yeah, the potential trouble. There's just, yeah, so much that we're trying to pack in to a limited road and cycle lane resource. So yeah, I think the shared pathway idea is inevitable. It's mostly gonna work, but yeah, it does set up a few problems, risks around the potential for bikes to get in the road of dog walkers, etc. People out for a jog walking in front. And yeah, I'm trying not to be elitist about this. I think all of the users who have enjoyed the shared pathways around Auckland that have grown up in recent times are probably well-heeled elites, and cyclists are no different. In fact, out of the cyclists, walkers and dog walkers, you know, maybe the cyclists are the most elite out of those users. And sometimes I think cyclists around Auckland are not so good at recognising their own elitism. So yeah, but nonetheless, whether cyclists are at fault or dog walkers are at fault, I think the point is there are limits to how much you can put all these different users and uses into a limited resource. And yeah, it's going to be part of the future, hopefully, because what I said in point 2, maybe the future's a bit bleak, but you know, if we do get the financing and we get the political commitment to make Auckland a better place, if that returns, yeah, hopefully we can do something else alongside shared pathways. Number 4, a few thoughts about integration, if you can hear them. It's pretty windy up here, it's just rained for a bit, but we're in the middle of the Tawharanui Regional Park now. Beautiful views out to the left, the right and forward. It's such a wonderful place. Also my favourite swimming place in the whole Auckland region. But yeah, we are in a regional park. It's not the first time we've been in a regional park in this series. We would have spent a few minutes, 20 minutes or so, at Ambury Regional Park when we did the Waikaraka Cycleway and then down to the Atuatawa Stonefields. But yeah, that's it. All those regional parks, all the amazing recreational potential, and yeah, they're kind of no-go zones for cycling mostly. Some of the new ones have a few places, but it's also the lack of integration in terms of getting there, and that's a missed opportunity. Here at Tawharanui, some of the long-term planning has earmarked a coastal route from Omaha Beach through to existing gravel roads in the regional park, and that would be wonderful. You could also turn that into a really good loop using the trails and roads that we've already used today. But yeah, that's been on the cards for a while, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. There is a coastal trail organisation that's trying to advocate for that and for more, but they're kind of fighting an uphill battle. Round to the left, I'll show it when we get back. Yeah, there's a whole lot of farmland that is privately owned, but the council had about as much influence over that landowner as they'll possibly get for a very long time, and so maybe the opportunities has kind of missed out, you know. We'll see. But yeah, it wouldn't be great if the great rides are expanded far enough to actually link up with some of these wonderful regional parks. Second type of integration, though, it's a bit lacking, is around integration with the public transport network. Because yeah, when we set out to do these rides, the original 9 or 10 and an extra 5 that we created, which we turned into combinations that got us 11 rides in total. We wanted to use the public transport system as much as possible where we couldn't bike just from home. Now, yeah, that wasn't always going to be possible here. There's no way you're going to get transported out to here, public transport. But yeah, that we only failed to use the car on 6 of the 11 routes is a bit disappointing. Sometimes that was just weekend specific things, like a train station that was out for repairs. But yeah, the public transit system is sort of resistant to including cyclists, and probably not very well set up to help even pedestrians get out to places where the walks begin or end. Yeah, the point being that they make pedestrians and cyclists sort of second-class citizens on the public transport system unless you're commuting, you know. So you might be able to integrate the public transport system, trains in particular, ferries, with bikes through the week. But those sort of combinations and users are sacrificed a bit outside of those times, outside of commuting times. Yeah, there's some of the potential that I think we're missing right in front of you. That's yeah, wonderful opportunity for people of Auckland to come out here, and they do make good use of it. But some things that could be linked together a bit better are not, and that includes the public transport system and the recreational space. But yeah, here's very special. You can't bike around the entire peninsula. On the south side there's some restrictions, but it's still worthwhile. And if they extended the bikeable, walkable bits to the north side of the peninsula and then down Omaha Beach back to Omaha, that'd be wonderful. While I'm at Tawharanui though, point 5, rural parts, goes with what I just said about integration. In comments on our YouTube site, and also people emailing me from the site, yeah, that's come up quite a bit. People saying, oh, I'd love to be able to do those sorts of rides, but I live in Pukekohe, and all of these things are part of the former 4 cities of Auckland, and yeah, other parts of the super city, the old parts of Rodney District and Papakura District, Franklin. Yeah, they haven't necessarily benefited from all of the expansion of the great rides. That has been a much more urban thing. And yeah, you really see that out here on the Matakana Trail, which was one of the original great rides. But they put in this little stub of a trail between Omaha Beach and Matakana, and yeah, it's nice in its own way, keeps people off a relatively busy road that doesn't have any shoulder to it. But yeah, it's sort of stayed the way it was, as a point to point, go nowhere, no real sort of loop option. Hence some of the things that we've had to do today. But that's kind of it, you know. What about the rest of Rodney District? What about the former Franklin District areas and Papakura? Yeah, I think we really do need to extend our networks out into the periphery a little bit more, so that other ratepayers get to benefit from the good work that's been done in the last 10 years or so. Well, we've been having such a lovely ride along the coast, maybe to say something, point 6, about some of the environments that have changed that could be associated with the great rides. Clearly, you know, there were opportunities to say engage with the coast on them in the past. This very trip, Matakana, yeah, obviously incorporates some of the best coastal scenery in Auckland. But yeah, back in the day when these things were small and when they were predominantly in a city, yeah, not too many opportunities for that. But now I think, you know, there's some wonderful coastal scenery, coastal recreation that can be combined with the great rides. You see that here, but yeah, like thinking of the areas around the Manukau Harbour that we rode alongside, Waikaraka Cycleway, where you can see some of the best coastal shorebird populations you'll see anywhere. Yeah, and I enjoyed in particular the area over towards Manarewa and all the little coastal reserves we linked up over there that really highlighted again how the emerging cycle network provides access to coastal areas which are otherwise difficult to access. There's been a lot of urban developments over there, and yeah, fortunately successive planners have found ways of adding to cycling infrastructure as a provision for those developments, which is pretty cool. And mostly though, the volcanoes, you know, some of my highlights from these trips have been biking up the volcanoes at North Head, or last week biking up Puktapapa, Mount Roskill, and there's just such great views from those volcanoes. They're such a important part of Auckland's recreational landscape. So great that nowadays you can bike to, or perhaps up some of them. And last point 7, perhaps returning to our objectives for this Great Ride series, to remind you of what I might have said in the first few, that I was rehabbing after some bad accidents and some other medical issues, and trying to get back into cycling, partly because we have a big ride that Kath and Ruben will join me on for part, and then I'll continue across the USA on the Great American Rail Trail, 6,300 kilometers. So I needed to rehab, get a bit fitter. The point of making the selection spinner, and that was a bit naff, but was just really about having a list. Over winter we can get a bit lazy and talk ourselves out of going cycling. We'll still do our commuting to work and school, but sometimes at the weekend, you know, the slightest cloud becomes an excuse not to get out. We've found that having a list of rides to do is actually really good for taking the decision making out of our hands, and yeah, if we don't have to think about it, we can't talk ourselves out of the ride. So yeah, if you're getting back into cycling after a while away from it, or maybe just if you're winter lazy like we are, yeah, consider making a list of objectives, rides that can fulfill those objectives, and maybe it'll lead to greater consistency in outings over this winter as it has for us. But generally, the whole point of the Great Ride series was just to revisit some places that have been special for us, see what's happened to them, and yeah, as concluded earlier, good things have happened to them. Thanks for watching the series. Yeah, I've got a few more subscribers to my channel while the series has been on. I don't do it for other people. I was too often sort of losing videos I'd created by storing them on hard drives that broke or whatever, and so putting them onto YouTube is mainly for storage. Yeah, a lot more viewers than there have been subscribers, and it'd be good to get a few more subscribers so that maybe some of the messaging that goes with these rides gets out to more people. But thanks for those that have been watching. Have your own great rides.